Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is BJ Sanders from Alpena Senior Center. Hi, BJ.
Hi, Nancy. How are you today?
Good, and for the first time in a long time, I can say you're open.
We are open.
Hallelujah.
Yes, hallelujah, and it's almost as if we were never closed. Took a couple days for the card players to regroup, but yesterday we had seven card tables with Spitzer. Yeah, just like we never closed. I had 40 people for exercise class this morning, so yes.
And you know, you folks were so wonderful about keeping everything going that you possibly could via Zoom and other ways, so congratulations to you, and I hope that we stay open. But I had recently just talked to a friend who works at a nursing facility, and she said that they had more people having issues with no socialization and loneliness than they did with COVID through the whole event.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. You know, we kept in close touch with our seniors when they would come pick up curbside meals. We sent cards out, we made phone calls, we did quite a few different things. And you know, you can't touch everybody, but I would like to say that the large majority of our seniors were okay. They were okay during the situation. Were they happy? Absolutely not, but yeah.
So are all of your services back now?
They are all back.
All right, start me out and tell me what we can expect when we go there.
Oh my goodness, right, well, when I left, they were preparing for lunch and bingo. We were having a bake sale, trying to get the bakery started back up, so we had a bake sale going on, some amazing key lime cupcakes if you want to go over and grab some before they're all gone.
Definitely do that.
But, so we had that going on. Like I said, I had about 40 people in my exercise class this morning. I've got some things coming up in September that I wanted to make sure that got out into the community. I collaborated with the fire department across the street from us with Andy, everybody's favorite fireman, Andy.
Yes.
So we're doing a really big Smart 911 Blitz. We tried this a couple of years ago and I didn't get the numbers, or we didn't get the numbers that we really wanted, so we're going to tackle it again and make sure we get the numbers. We need seniors to really sign up for that. It's such an important thing for seniors to do. Like I told my class this morning that my goal is to get up into the 90 percentile of seniors in Alpena signed up for Smart 911. So that's happening in September.
And you know, that is an important class because sometimes you hesitate. Should I call 911? You just don't know when to call or when not to.
Well, and that's not what this is all about. Smart 911 is you sign up with them. There's a 2-page application asking different types of information, and then someone, if you can't do it yourself, and someone, which we'll be doing at the center, will help you get that put into the computer.
Wow.
So when you do call into 911, that information automatically pops up on their screen. So if I got into a car accident and I was comatose and they needed all this information and I was part of Smart 911, all that information's there. I don't have to tell them anything, it's already there.
I had no clue that was even available.
Oh, it's available, and it is important for all of us, especially seniors, to do that. And you know, looking at the other part of it for Alzheimer's dementia, cognitive issues, we can get your picture put into there. So if you happen to, if you have Alzheimer's and you happen to roam away from home, call Smart 911, and that automatically comes up with a picture of the person. They can automatically be out there looking for the person. So
okay, now if someone can't make it to the event, can they still get the paperwork?
Yes, they can still get the paperwork. So the first Wednesday in September, and we're going to do this September, October. We'll probably do this all the way through December until our numbers get up there. So it'll be the first Wednesday, we'll talk about it, give out the paperwork, and then the third Wednesday of the month you come in and we help you put that into the system.
Perfect.
Right. And then Andy and I are working on a way where, because you really have to renew that every year, Andy and I are working on a way to make that happen too.
Wonderful.
So that's really critical. That's a critical thing we'll be starting in September.
And then what other events?
Oh gosh, so September is also National Senior Center Month, and because of the success that I feel like our senior center represented themselves during COVID, I really want to do something big for that particular event. It's also going into October is National Falls Month. Really playing up all of the resources that are available at our senior center, making sure that everybody in Alpena County knows what's there for them.
And the congregate meals are Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday. Right now we're only doing lunch.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 12:30. Well, we're still doing our curbside pickup, but I'm not sure how much longer that will be in play. But if you call by 10 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, you can pick up a meal between 11:30 and 12:30.
Okay.
Suggested donation for seniors 60 years and older is $3.50. Anyone younger than that is $7.
Okay. And then what about like coming in for assistance for home care and filling out applications for all those things? You're open for people to come in, or do they have to make an appointment?
They really need to make an appointment with Mike. So anybody that calls in, I automatically refer them over to Michael, who has to make an appointment to go out and do his assessments to get people signed up for that. Another really awesome thing that we're doing at the center is Annie, Mike, and myself became reach coaches. So if you are a caregiver caring for a loved one that has Alzheimer's, dementia, or a cognitive issue, our program that we do is we coach the caregiver.
Ooh.
So I worked with a lady today. I've got 2 other couples. Annie's got a couple. So that's been an amazing certification that the 3 of us got.
Okay,
So,
and what are your hours right now?
Monday through Friday, we're open from 8 to 5.
Okay. And on the weekends, nothing? So
Nothing on the weekends.
nothing on the weekends, okay. And Meals on Wheels is still
Meals on Wheels
going
is
great.
huge right now. We get phone calls every day to sign people up for Meals on Wheels. And again, that would be an assessment that Michael would go out and do.
Okay, and he comes to your house, does an assessment, and see if you fit the parameters, and then you get those wonderful meals delivered.
Yes, yes. And they were having cabbage rolls today.
Oh, I bet that smells good.
Yes, it smelled great in there.
And what about the rod and knives? Do you still have those?
We're still doing rod and knives. That sale is really picking up too. People coming in and getting those knives. That's the only knife I have in my house.
Me too. The tomato knife is spectacular, and it's tomato season. So.
Absolutely tomato season. I just got some beautiful ones. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about is Project Fresh. So Project Fresh is a program done through the state. So you have to be 60 years and older. You have to live in Alpena County, and you have to meet the income requirements. If you meet all of those requirements, you get $20 worth of coupons that you can purchase fresh fruits and vegetables grown only in the state of Michigan from Kif Miller's or the farmers market.
Wonderful.
And you know, I've done both. I've been at Kif Miller's, I've been at the farmers market promoting those coupons, and of course while I'm there I have to purchase something. And
of course.
Both locations have beautiful produce right now.
They do.
Beautiful produce, cauliflower and lettuce and.
Oh, the cauliflower is like this huge.
Yes. Yes.
We're out of time. I want to thank you so much, and you know, congratulations to you and your staff for keeping everything rolling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll be right back following these messages. Welcome back. My last guest today is Richard Houchin, and he is from Nemska. Good morning, Richard.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Glad to have you be here. It's been a long time, about a year and a half, probably.
It has been. It has been.
And as we were winding up last time you came on, before COVID hit, you were starting these wonderful veterans groups, and you were having 50 to 60 people and 20 to 30 people. Where are we with those groups now?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously over the last year we've had to pull things back quite a bit, but gratefully and happily, we just started back in Roscommon last week was our first one back. And you know, we've had 50 to 60 veterans there at the coffee hour in the past, and I think our first one back we still had 30 to 40.
Wow.
And it was great seeing all the men and women back and just entertaining them and just talking and hearing stories and giving them an outlet to just engage with other people socially. And so.
And as I talked to my last guest, just prior to you being here, the socialization thing, I had a friend who works at a nursing home, and she said they had more health issues with people who didn't see family or friends, and they did with COVID actually. That socialization piece and seeing people is so important.
It is a huge aspect, and as you know, it's a real problem in Northeast Michigan. And then, you know, you combine the pandemic and then wintertime, social isolation is a real problem, and it affects mental health and physical health. And so these Veterans Coffee Hours are just one way of us to try to pull people from the rural corners of our region and get them in, and just all we do is just chit chat and have coffee and donuts, and hopefully we're still trying to get the Alpena region one worked out, and you know, we might be able to try to pull one off in August, but it more likely will be September. So
how will people find out about these?
Well, so what I normally do is I engage with our veteran service organizations in the region, the county veteran service officer, and just kind of let them know. I have a small list of veterans that used to attend,
Okay.
and I'll give them all a phone call, and I just you know, like the old game of telephone. I'll call you, and you call a veteran, and you call a veteran, and just
Perfect.
spread the word. And so once we're back up and running, we'll get the word out.
And NEMSCA just has a new volunteer program that's starting.
Yeah. So it's volunteerism is kind of what I do. It's my job. I'm a program coordinator for our retired and senior volunteer program, which is a general volunteer program strictly for members of our community 55 and older. We talked about this one
Yes.
before, and what it is originally built to help fight social isolation. We want to get our elder members of the community out and helping, you know, get them out of their homes and help strengthen their communities. Well, we've also at NEMSCA decided, you know, hey, how about we look to see if there are any other volunteers who would like to come help with our missions of enhancing quality of life and through empowering individuals and strengthening our communities. And there's a big pool in our region that don't normally fall into our senior volunteer programs guidelines. And so we started this general volunteer program called our Shine Bright program. And
Ooh.
anybody who wants to volunteer with a NEMSCA program, and these, you know, there are quite a few programs, from food programs to Head Start programs to even coming in with our school success programs and helping behind the scenes of you know, some admin work and things like that.
Yay.
It's very flexible. It's very we work with you on when you can work and when you can help. So it's real easy to get in touch with me. It's shinebright@nemsca.org, NEMCSA. If you're interested in the volunteer programs, it's RSVP@nemsca.org, and it comes right to my inbox, and I get back to you pretty quick.
I already know that I'm going to be a foster grandparent when I retire. I had a young lady on here that she came in with Heidi, and she cried. She loves it so much, she cried and told stories, and I thought that's what I need to do.
Volunteerism really draws it at people's hearts, and most organizations throughout the country, they saw a big drop in their volunteerism last year. Some organizations by as much as 50%. And there's this great organization called Point of Life, and they did this big study back in August, and they are finding that 80% of the people they polled are saying community service is at the top of my list once the pandemic is over, because they like these stories and they want to feel like they are contributing to strengthening their community. So we are looking for ways to engage with all these individuals that are looking to give back their time, their most important and precious commodity.
It is.
Yes.
So RSVP, there's certain stipulations to be in that program. You have to be a certain age and income level?
So for the foster grandparents and senior companions,
Okay.
that one's income-based, but
Okay.
our program is you just have to be 55 and older. There are no income guidelines on it, and we could place you either within NEMSCA, or we partner with organizations in 11 counties in Northeast Michigan. A lot of them are doing food programs, home delivery meal drivers. We have a new telephone reassurance program called Caring Connection, where phone call or volunteer phone callers will reach out to homebound seniors just for that socialization piece.
Okay.
We have so many opportunities, and if you just want to call or email and say, hey, give me the spiel one-on-one, I'd love to talk with them.
Okay, and I have just about enough time to mention your annual report. I met with Fran at a meeting, and Fran stood up with that beautiful report, and I always tell people that your goals seem to be unattainable, and you always reach your goals and go over the goals, and how many people you serve, the areas you serve, and the services you offer are outstanding and unbelievable. Congratulations to you and everyone at NEMSCA. It's just amazing to read that report.
It is. It was. It's even amazing to us that work there when you compile it all together and you're like, oh my gosh, it's not only the employees but all of our volunteers make that happen.
Well, good. And so a number for them to call to reach you or NEMSCA in general?
So to reach me directly, it's 989-358-4637. Like I said, I deal normally with volunteers, but if you get to me and you're like, hey, I'd like to talk about something else, I can get you in the right direction.
Okay, and for the veterans programs, just keep watching and listening. Talk to your veteran reps in any organizations you're in, and they'll get the information.
They can either call that same number and talk to me directly, or I will be advertising in the paper and calling the local veteran organizations.
Okay, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome, great, thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, President of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guests this morning Carrie Schiller, a private therapist in town and a mental health professional who works at ACC, and Lisa Blumenthal, Administrative Assistant for our SIP grant and Workforce Development, and welcome to you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
So we're here today to talk about mental health and in general, and specifically what we're doing to provide support for folks who are seeking that, who need or seek help in that area. Could you speak to that? We started it last spring, and how did it go?
It went well. Lisa was involved in the grant writing.
Correct. With Amanda Summerick's, who's the director of the grant.
With the purpose of
providing additional support and services to our students.
Yeah, and so we started the counseling program.
Yeah, the SIP grant, maybe I'll back up here. The SIP grant is a proposal that we wrote to U.S. Department of Education, and Student Services was one of the three areas of focus. It was a $2,250,000 5-year grant. Amanda Summerick runs it, and Lisa, you came on right about the time it was funded, I think, right in that area, and certainly one of the areas that we felt we could provide support to students was in the area of mental health, and with the pandemic, I think that need has only been exacerbated.
Yes, the need for support, encouragement. We wanted to reach students to assess and connect them to services in the community in a timely fashion. So make ourselves available to reach students easily and accessibly, and give them the support that they need during these trying times. Offer some stress management and coping skills. Just a first line of support, and referrals to community services as well. I'm also a resourcer, so to offer resources and referrals to the community. So as needed, if there's referrals or services that are in the community, so I'm kind of a liaison person to connect them to community services.
Yeah, and Lisa, your involvement in this has been integral.
Yes, so Amanda and I started talking about this about a year ago, and we did some research and came up with a game plan. We created a survey that we sent to students. We wanted to gauge where they were. We wanted to know what we were dealing with and how great the need was, and the need was significant. And it took some time to go through all of the paperwork to get somebody in place, but Carrie was who I had in mind right from the beginning. So we were very excited when she was ready to sign on with us. She is on campus on Fridays from 10 until 12, or as needed. And
Yeah.
she is also available for Oscoda students. And she has even said she would be willing to drive down there, but she's available for virtual conference calls with them or telephone calls as needed too. And if we have students that can't make it on a Friday, we will work with them to see when Carrie's available so that we can reach them.
That's a wonderful explanation. There's 2 or 3 things in there that strike me. One, we do have a branch campus in Oscoda that people may or may not know about. We have students down there. There are students that have needs similar in many ways to folks on main campus. Also, you had referenced the survey, and I thought that was really a productive kind of stroke of genius to really document what students felt about these issues. Could you I bet you remember, I hope you do.
They were struggling, a lot had to do with the pandemic, of course, but they were just feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and they didn't know who to talk to. They didn't have a resource that they could reach, and they didn't know how to handle the stress that they were experiencing. There was depression, there was some anxiety with their home life. It was multifaceted. And we just knew that there was a need to provide help on campus, and we're very happy that we are able to do that because of the grant, and that Carrie is with us and has experience in treating students.
Yeah.
And that's where her enthusiasm is, and when I first talked to her, she was just really excited about the opportunity, and that felt very passionate about helping the students that we have. We're also making this available to all of our ACC students. It's free of charge, and so this includes our early college students. When you referred to Oscoda, we actually did a presentation for Oscoda this spring to make them aware of what we had available and to put a face to the name. And we did a virtual presentation to the students as well, and then we're going back to Oscoda in November for another presentation. So,
wonderful.
yes.
Yeah, great explanation. Thank you for that. So Carrie, your expertise, experience, passion is providing support, mental health support for students.
Yes.
Is there any kind of different focus for students compared to non-students, or what's your experience?
Well, ACC is multi-generational, but and I can offer services to anyone. However, that younger generation, it might be the first line of mental health treatment or assessment. So letting them come in with ease, free, makes it a little more accessible. Availability. I'm there a couple hours a week right now, but available at other times, and just making it easy for them to connect and ask for help, support, or services, or direction, and getting them the services that they need or the support from the community college.
Do you find that just the mere act of a student approaching and acknowledging that they're feeling stress or they do have an issue that they want to talk about is a significant barrier to overcome?
Yeah, just coming in and asking and explaining what their needs are is yes, very stressful. Many times after first session, they say, this was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not hard. It's hard to walk in. It's not hard to ask for help or get the help that's needed. And we just want to make it easier and streamline. Oftentimes it is the first line of service.
Sure. Well, we have about 45 seconds left. Is there any message that you would like to get out to the audience?
We've tried to make it easy for our students to reach us, so we have an email address that they can use. It's counselinginfo@alpinacc.edu. They can call. We'll send another survey this fall to remind them. But we've also got a very secluded location that's very private and confidential. So we just want them to know that it's easy to get a hold of us and to please take advantage of this.
Lisa, thank you for your leadership in this
Thank
area.
you.
It's very significant.
Thank you very much.
Life-saving in some instances, I think.
That's our hope.
And thank you to Amanda Sumricks and Carrie Schiller. Thank you for joining us. And
Thanks, Dan.
thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town. with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.